Hi, I'm Justin Haddad.
And I'm Shamza.
And today we will be presenting our fencing tournament. So, program. Yes. So here's a little video of what fencing is, just to show you that it's not like fence building or something like that. Okay, so our outline. First, I'll give a brief story on why we decided to do this program. Then I'll go through in a tournament to show how it works. I'll do it a bit more in-depth, specifically on how like the seating is made. Then we'll explain our code, our final product, and talk about what we might do in the future. So to start, we decided to do this because I was at a tournament that was supposed to start at 8, but their computer program shut down for some reason. So we ended up like 220 people lining up single file and each individually writing our name into a laptop, which was a waste of time. So I decided to make a better project. And so now I'm going to go through an example tournament, and we'll start here with the seating. So the seating is based on your rating here and your ranking for national competitions. So your ranking comes first, so whoever's ranked higher gets placed higher. If you aren't ranked, then it's based on your rating. And if you're tied in rating, then it's randomly assigned. So 6 through 2 is random. A from 20, who earned his A in 2018 is the highest, and then so on and so forth. So from the seating, pools are created in which everybody in the pool fences each other. And then from your win percentage, the touches scored minus touches received, which is your indicator, and the touches received, your seating after pools is determined. So here, this guy got 100% win rate, but he got scored on less times than the other people who had 100% win rate, so his indicator is a bit higher, so he's the first seed. From this seeding, a bracket is created in this similar fashion of how an NCAA bracket might be created for basketball or something. So each person will fence until you find a winner, who is this guy. So that's the tournament. So specifically how the seating and everything is created is you find the number of pools by dividing the number of fencers by 7 and then rounding up. Your seating is based on your results calculated, as I previously mentioned. Creating pools, it's a kind of snake thing. We'll explain later how that works. To assign each person to a pool, a bracket is formed, they fence, and then the winner is determined.
Okay, so first, the fencers are preliminarily seeded by using their ranking and their rating. And first of all, the ranking takes preference in national competitions. So we go through a file downloaded from the USA Fencing website, and that contains all the rankings of every player that is currently ranked. So we look through that file and find the name of the fencer that we are going to register and find their ranking, and then based on that ranking determine where in the seating they should go. Furthermore, if they have no ranking, then we go to the rating, which is like A 2018, A 2017, etc. And those with higher ratings are also seated higher. And next, we use these seeds to make pools of fencers. And so the pools go like, let's say there are 3 pools and there are 8 people, seed 1 would be in pool 1, seed 2 would be in pool 2, seed 3 would be in pool 3, but then seed 4 would be in pool 3, seed 5 would be in pool 2, and seed 6 would be in pool 1, and so on. It just keeps, like, if you draw on the grid, like snakes. And so that's what our make pools function does by placing each correct seed into the correct pool.
Then we get the results from the user input for each out in the pool. So each fencer will fence every other fencer in the pool, and it will update the fencer class variables. So we made a separate class for fencer class, and the fencer class has many class variables which get updated, such as first name, last name, ranking, wins in the tournament, points scored in the tournament, etc., which are used to calculate their seeding later on.
And so once all the bouts are finished in the prelims, we make the bracket to determine the winner. And so the fencers are reseeded based on what we talked about earlier, like indicator, and then points scored and win percentage. And so this method just makes the top part of this method just makes the bracket for the elimination rounds.
It'll sort the seeding so that first place is in the first part of the reseeds array list, and then it will kind of do that for every single fencer, and it'll print it so we know what the seeding is.
And so after the bracket is like the reseedings are determined, we create the actual bracket, like who will face who and how many rounds there will be, and etc.
Yeah. So then this loops through each round. So the rounds, I'm using air quotes here, are the powers of 2. So the final is 2 to the 1, so it's the first round. The semis is 2 to the 2 because it's 4 fencers, so that's second round. Quarterfinals is 2 to the 3, so it's the third round, etc., etc. And so each of these rounds will have half as many fencers. So it will loop through each seed in the list, and it will prompt the user for whether or not that fencer wins, or the score of the bout. And so another thing we implemented is buys, which are if you have a number of fencers which is not a power of 2. So let's say you have 7 fencers. One can't fence the 8th fencer because there is no 8th fencer. So this line, this if statement right here, calculates whether or not the one can fence somebody, and if they can't, then they're just given an automatic pass into the next round or buy. And if they're not, then they prompt the user to fence and check the score, and all of the all of the fencer variables are updated and they're added to the next round. The loser is added to the final results, and the final results is an array list which will be sorted later.
And so finally, so this part of the method will print all the remaining fencers after a round. So all the losers are knocked off and all the winners proceed. And so finally, once a winner is determined, this method will print all the results, like when people were eliminated determines what place they get, and then this will print the place that they get.
Yeah. So for fencers who lost in the same round, so let's say in the round of, well, we call it the round of 8, so 8 fencers left, which is round 3, I think, which is the quarterfinal. The fencers who lost in that round, who are the 5th through 8th place, their position at the end is based on their seeding after pools. So that is what the sorting is doing here. And 3rd and 4th place are third tied. And that's it. Should we go through an example tournament with that code that I don't have? Okay. Okay, so now we will be running an example tournament with 7 fencers to test. And so each fencer's name is entered, their first and last name.
Oh no. A bunch of Justin's friends.
Yeah, okay, so now we print their seating. So we get it from the website, which says that Isaac Herbst is higher seated than Evan Rail, which is higher seated than me, who's higher seated than all of these people here. So from that, we create a pool of 7, because 7 fencers is the perfect amount to create one pool. And each fencer will fence each other fencer. So then their results are inputted. Here we're just going to speed it up and put in whatever Sean decides he's going to put in. But normally it would be based on the actual fencing. elevator music cues. One thing we'd like to add later on to our code is try catch, because if you input code incorrectly, you have to restart the whole thing. So based on the fencing in the pools, Isaac Herbst, as you can see, he won a good amount of his bouts. He only lost this one bout here. So he's the highest seed, then Evan Rail is, then Justin Haddad, who's me. I don't know why I'm not first, but and Miles, Weiss, Mahir Kumashi, Arkma, Avo Reed, and one will fence 8. So since one has a bye, we skip to the next bout, which is 2 fencing 7, and you can put in whatever score you like. Then 3 fences 6, and then 4 fences 5. Here are the fencers left. So Isaac Herbst had a bye, so he's in. Evan Rail beat Avo Reed 5-2, so he's still in. Justin Haddad beat Arkma 4-2, so I'm in. And Mahir Kumashi beat Miles Weiss 4-3. So now 1, who's Isaac Herbst, will fence the winner of 4 and 5. So it was the 5th seed, who's now taking the place of the 4th seed. So Isaac Herbst against Mahir Kumashi will fence. Isaac wins 5-2, and then 2nd seed will fence 3rd seed, who's Evan Rail against Justin Haddad, and Justin Haddad, being the better fencer, wins 5-3. Now the final is Isaac Herbst versus Justin Haddad, and Justin Haddad, being the better fencer, wins 4-5. And so the final results are printed. I got first, Isaac Herbst got second, Evan Rail and Mahir Kumashi are tied for third. And based on the seeding after pools, the rest of the fencers are seeded. So since Miles Weiss was here 4th seed, Arkma is 6th seed, and Avo Reed is 7th seed, it's put in that order. So Miles Weiss finishes 5th in the tournament, Arkma 6th, and Avo Reed 7th. That's our tournament.